I've got 2 sourdough starters. One I've had for over 4 years, and this one I started just a couple months ago. I want to experiment and see if they actually turn out different loaves of bread, because I kind of feel like they won't. A lot of people believe that the older the starter, the better it is. And I just don't know if that's true, because after you get it to peak maturity and it's healthy and viable, it's really just going to depend on the way that you feed it and maintain it. So I don't know if I really buy into it, and I figured this would be the best way to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to do a country loaf for both of these, which is whole wheat flour mixed with all-purpose. I will probably just do like half and half. So 250 grams of all-purpose, 250 of whole wheat, and then I'm going to do a lower hydration than I normally do. We'll do 75%. So that's going to be 375 grams of water. Normally I do like 95 degrees, but I'm going to try and run out and do some errands today. So I'm going to give this a bit of a longer bulk ferment. I'm going to do 85 grams of starter. That's about 17% starter for the recipe. There's 375 grams of water in each of these bowls. They're exactly the same temperature. So we'll start with Robbie, and I just want to add 85 grams. I might not have that much. I don't need much starter left. I'm taking pretty much everything in this jar. Okay, this is all that's left in the jar after I used my starter for my bread, and that's enough. You only need the tiniest bit. So the measuring is really just important for when you are going to make bread, and you want it to be kind of exact, like what we're doing today, which is why last night I measured very specifically. Hey Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Good morning. It's 2 days later, so both of these loaves have had a 48-hour proof. I hope I didn't overproof them. They're both nicely proofed. I think they're both gonna have a really great bake. Julia looks bigger. Yeah, she just looks puffier. But I think other than that, they're pretty consistent. Let's bake Julia first. I've got a very hot Dutch oven. It's not quite 450 degrees in my oven. I hate this oven, it's not consistent. It's like maybe 430, 425. I should probably not have this Dutch oven out just yet. Loaf number 1. Okay, so overall, very nice. I'm gonna score the other one with a second wheat stock, just so I can remember the difference. Okay, so honestly, they look identical to me. There's slightly more rice in this, but that's about the only difference I can detect at this point. We'll see if they have a different crumb and if they have a different flavor. I'm gonna get dressed and then we'll cut these open. Kind of a tighter crumb than I expected. Actually, it smells pretty similar. Really nicely sour. Really sour, actually. Good job, Robbie. I'm gonna take a bite of Julia. Still pretty sour. Maybe not quite as much as Robbie, but I also might be making that up in my head. Here's what I'd say. I think the older starter has a bit more of a balanced flavor. A bit. It's not enough of a difference to justify spending more or seeking out a really old starter. Is a 200-year-old starter much different than a 4-year-old starter? Possibly. I guess I'd have to get my hands on a 200-year-old starter and do this experiment again. But overall, a 4-year starter versus like a couple months, I feel like there should be more of a difference if there is a difference in starters. Do you know what I mean? I think I still stand with my opinion that once you start feeding your starter using your water supply and your flour, it eventually just becomes your starter, which is why I like taking San Francisco sourdough starter to Los Angeles. It eventually becomes Los Angeles sourdough starter. It is what you feed it. So that settles that. I think this was maybe like not so exciting for you guys, but it was very exciting for me. And I will do this again if I can find a starter that's like over 100 years old. But the difference of a couple years, I think, is negligible. So thanks for doing this experiment with me, and happy baking. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna have lunch now. Okay, bye.